I just got hit. I just got hit with this massive feeling that I was not on the right path. I walked into the other room and looked in the mirror, and I just had this moment. I looked in the mirror and who the hell am I becoming? And when you know, when you have a moment like that. And when you have a moment like that, you have a choice. Do you plot and plan and strategize what's next, but continue on the same sort of trajectory? Or do you do something big? I got tears in my eyes and I thought, this isn't the path for me. I was desperately trying to control every aspect of the outcome of my life. And the only way for me to break free from that chronic obsession with control was to blow it up. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back. For those joining us for the first time, welcome to the Live Deep podcast, where we dive deep on everything physical and emotional fitness. I'm your host, Jesse Carrajat, a veteran, former corporate executive turned health coach, fitness trainer, and founder of Ultitled Fitness. I'm also a recovering self-medicating workaholic. Just made that label up, but relevant to this particular episode. If you're new to the show, again, welcome. We're so glad and grateful you are here. Today, we are kicking off a new 7-part mini-series titled Let It Go, A Guide to Living Present in 2024. A little ode to Elsa and Anna. I'm a proud father of 2 little girls, so I think their influence there with Let It Go definitely came in. But look, before we dive deep into this new series, which is all about letting go of control so that you can find presence in your life, and another so that you can really find purpose and joy in your life, I think some context will really help set the stage for not only this episode, but for the entire series. So for those that don't know, the Live Deep podcast is part of a broader initiative or movement called Ultitled Fitness. And at Ultitled Fitness, our mission is to help people break free from unhealthy habits and mindsets to find not just physical, but also emotional fitness. And we do that primarily through this podcast, the Live Deep podcast, but also a soon to be launched fitness app, which includes not just fitness programming, but habit change. More on that in a moment. A blog and more. And if you're wondering about Ultitled, so Ultitled is Latin for deep, or even deep waters. That's where we get our color, our branding of blue. And the reason for the name of Ultitled Fitness is because we believe that while physical fitness is good, true or real fitness is infinitely more than surface level physical fitness or even vanity fitness, things like body fat percentage or bench press reps, marathon times, you name it. And don't get me wrong, physical fitness is good. Feeling attractive feels good. Getting in shape is rewarding and exciting, and physical fitness can lead to longer, physically healthier lives, and that's all good. But if physical fitness is so important and is the end all to be all, then why aren't all physically, quote, fit people happy? Quick aside, and I'll steer clear, but touch on it. If you've spent any amount of time on the spiritual cesspool known as social media, you know this is true, that physical fitness does not mean that you are healthy and happy. Look, we're on social media. Ultitled Fitness is on social media, but for a reason. We're there because you're there. And that's where we need to meet you. That's where we need to reach you to help find deeper levels of fitness. I digress. But what is the point of being physically fit if deep down we are stressed, anxious, angry, bitter, lost, hopeless, afraid, fearful, you name it? Through that lens, what is fitness? If you could be physically fit and be feeling all those negative emotions, then why aren't we going deeper? And we think everyone should. So we think fitness is whole person health from deeper, pun intended there, deeper realms beneath the surface where other people can't see, where you can see, and even lurking in the more subconscious areas of your heart, of your psyche. So true fitness is emotional and physical fitness. And we believe a fit person should be able to experience, to the best of their ability and on a regular basis, deep peace, stillness, love, joy, lead a life of purpose, a life to be proud of. I'm just trying to set context about what we're going to be unpacking around fitness and who Ultimate Fitness stands for across the board. So as you can see, at Ultimate Fitness, we believe that true fitness is deeper. Thus, Ultimate Fitness was created, and it is impossible to find peace, joy, love, presence, stillness, all those things if we are obsessively trying to control our life. And I think more importantly, the outcome of our life. And more on that in a bit. So if you don't know my story, just say why I'm talking about this and why we're pursuing this. And again, we'll get to the crux of the mini-series, but I think it's important in the first episode of this mini-series to bring some context and some history and some explanation of who I am and why this is important to me. So if you really want to know the origin story of Ultimate Fitness and the passion behind the mission, encourage you to go back to episode 2 of this podcast where I'm actually interviewed and we talk about that origin story. Or you could stay with us over the next several weeks and we'll be unpacking all of that. But in short, after spending the last 15 or so years of my life, and I'll tell you, I'm 39 years old, so it's a good portion of my life, basically drinking the cultural Kool-Aid and the corporate Kool-Aid and pursuing the idols of our time, things like career success, humble myself to say this, but admiration, either from peers or in the corporate setting, reputation, nice things, surface level things, after pursuing those things for 15 years and being objectively having success in that realm, the corporate realm in particular, and then having 3 beautiful children, well, getting married first and having 3 beautiful children, and then trying to be perfect in every area of my life, whether it's corporate, father, husband, friend, church member, you name it. After having the stress and pressure of trying to be perfect in all of those realms, I hit what I'm learning to call an emotional and spiritual rock bottom, and I just knew it. We all have our breaking points. It was literally just a Monday. It was a random Monday in June of 2023, just like any other Monday. And by that I mean hard work, stress, pressure, carrying it, balancing family life, corporate, you name it. Not that this detail matters. It was around 4:30, and I hopped off a call, just riddled with worry, stress, you name it. I looked at a little rock that my 3-year-old daughter at the time had recently found outside. It was painted rock. It had a Bible verse on it. And I just looked at the rock, and I won't go into what the Bible verse was, but I just got hit. I just got hit with this massive feeling that I was not on the right path. I walked into the other room and looked in the mirror, and I just had this moment. I looked in the mirror and who the hell am I becoming? And when you know, when you have a moment like that. And when you have a moment like that, you have a choice. Do you plot and plan and strategize what's next, but continue on the same sort of trajectory? Or do you do something big, do something inspired? And for me, again, I looked at the rock, I got tears in my eyes, and I thought, this isn't the path for me. And I knew that I was desperately trying to control every aspect of the outcome of my life, financially, health, you name it. And the only way for me to break free from that chronic obsession with control was to blow it up. I mean, literally blow it up. So guys, when I say I blew it up, I walked across the street in that moment without giving myself time to rethink the decision I was about to make. And I called my boss, who told me in hindsight he had to pull his car over. And I said, "Boss, I'm out. I'm done." I used words that I never use. I can't. And I think more importantly, to use the right phrasing, I won't. And I just revealed, I said, "Look, you may think things are well over here. They're not. I'm stressed. I'm burning out. I'm abusing alcohol to cope with my current mental health, and I can't do it anymore." I'll close the summary of that chapter there. But where I landed was, I'm going to start something to help not only myself, but other people break free from whatever weight or heaviness they're carrying, whatever mindsets, habits, you name it. I started Ultimate Fitness, this podcast, and now I couldn't be more excited to dive into this series, because what this series is going to be about, it's going to focus on that thing that I think is insidious and chronic, and so many of us don't put a name to it or speak it into existence, and that is control and our desire to have desperately control in what is inevitably a chaotic existence. Uncertainty is so uncomfortable, and control is simply an effort to mitigate chaos and bring fleeting certainty in what is an uncertain life. And when you desire control so much, it can wreak havoc on your life. So, what we're going to do here is, again, the series Let It Go, a guide to living present, because the goal is to find present. What we're going to do here is really unpack what is control, try to identify if we have an issue with it or if we are obsessing over control, identifying the unhealthy ways that we are dealing with a lack of control, and try in all of our might to find a way to live what I'm call present or deep. And that is the origin, by the way, of the name of this podcast, the Live Deep podcast. Live deep means live present, live connected, live in the room that you're in with the people that are around you, noticing details, experiencing life, having joy and presence and fulfillment. The words control and presence have an inverse relationship. And we're going to unpack that. And I believe that the key to happiness is to reduce or eliminate our desire to control. And the Stoics speak about this so well, and we'll quote them, so that we can be present. And in so doing, again, releasing the desire to control, you're also going to be healing up, fixing, correcting the other end, which is release. There's this control-release cycle. We desperately try to control, we stress, we burn out, and then we jump right over being present and we go to release or escape, if you will. Things like social media, substances like alcohol. There's things that we're doing to medicate when we feel out of control. And we're going to talk about all of that. There's a quote I just want to throw out there. So as the famous Stoic Epictetus brilliantly and famously said in his work, quote, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will, or the things we can't control." And what does he say are the things we can't control? I found some of this interesting. Body, property, reputation, and command. He also said, no man is free who cannot master himself. Gosh, I'll say that again. No man, or woe man, is free who cannot master him or herself. Ask yourself, what has control over me? And am I truly free? This idea, this dichotomy of control, which is what is known as, has been something that humans have fixated on and recognized the significance of for generations and generations. And here we are dealing with an insurmountable flow and weight, crushing pressure of things that are trying to take our attention, trying to reduce our control. It's impossible almost to just let go, to let it go, as Elsa would say. And the epiphany that I had at that time, last year in June, holy smokes, I am beyond blessed in my life, but I am just drifting through this life completely engulfed mentally, emotionally, with stress and pressure because of my desire to control the outcomes of my life, career progressions, promotions, financial stability, fitness. How am I showing up as a father and a husband? I had checklists, to-do lists, calendars, reminders, you name it. Just for what? Trying to control what felt to me uncontrollable. And I think more importantly, just completely emotionally disabled at that time. I could not enjoy the amazing blessings and fruits in my life, the result of my hard work, because I was obsessed with controlling my future. I'll say it again, emotionally disabled, because I could not appreciate or experience the joy that was and should have been the result of my efforts. And I was just laboring every single day, doing something, waking up early, working hard. And then I just completely burned out from that control. And when I would burn out, I would jump right over to self-medication. What I realized was, and this is key here, think of a Venn diagram. And in a Venn diagram, just the classic 2 circles, picture drawing that out and then do a mental list. On one side, label the part of that circle control. And think about all of the things that you want to control, and think about all of the things you do every day to control those things. Okay? I mentioned checklist, calendars, to-dos, 401ks, financial planning, career advancement, CMEs, whatever. All over there, control. And then on the left side of that Venn diagram, I want you to think about anything that you do to release or escape from the discomfort when you feel out of control. Things like, again, alcohol, substances, Netflix, social media, doom scrolling. Think of those things that you're doing. Ask yourself, how often am I truly spending time in the middle of that Venn diagram? And that middle, put a label on it. It's called presence. Again, control, release, presence. Presence in the middle is the goal. It's the goal of this mini-series. It should be the goal in all of our lives. Presence feels like this. I'm in a room. It's quiet. I notice the details. Details could be your 3-year-old in the other room playing with a puzzle and the sound of the blocks hitting the puzzle. Do you notice those things? Presence feels like you're talking to your spouse or partner or friend. And as they're talking, you're looking them in their eyes. You see their eyes. Your brain is empty. Your mind is empty. You're listening without an agenda of what to say or how to respond. You're just listening and maybe even appreciating them as you're listening. How often do you do that in your conversations? Ever? When you walk out at night, do you notice if there's stars in the sky? That was a big one for me. Ask yourself these questions. Do you notice details? Do you even know what the sound of silence sounds like? Whether that's silence of what you're listening to, the silence of your mind. The answer for me for all of those questions was no or never. And that's what I came to realize. And the sickness or the sad part of that is if you think about that existence of trying desperately every single day, working, pushing, capital E on effort to control and to have some sense of safety. And what's twisted is you're putting all this effort in, hoping to one day find presence, when really the solution, and this is big, the solution is do less, not more. Let go, not take on. And that was the switch that started to flip for me, is that despite my effort, breaking my back, despite all of my perceived objective successes, I was becoming more and more of a failure, because success should be defined in our ability to enjoy our life and be present and be joyful. And I couldn't do that. So sorry for the diatribe, but not sorry. That's the context here, because what we are going to seek to do over these next 7 episodes is help you answer the question is, am I obsessed with control, or is control wreaking havoc in my life and disabling my ability to find presence and joy? And we're going to unpack all of that. So over the next 7 episodes, we're going to walk through together. We're going to help you answer that question. Do I have an issue with control? And then we're going to unpack how to break free from that addiction. But first, reminder that we are going to be launching the Ultimate Fitness app in just a couple of weeks. That app is going to be on the App Store and on our website, again, called Ultimate Fitness app. On there, you'll have expertly designed fitness programs for any experience level, for any goal, nutrition trackers. It'll be able to sync with any type of wearables that you might be using, whether it's Apple Health, Garmin. Just you'll get daily workout programming with videos, breaking it down. There'll be 8, 12, even 16-week programs for you. There'll also be habit change courses in there. Our first 2 are going to be on alcohol and a digital detox, which is really relevant for this series. But bottom line, it's just going to be an amazing fitness app. You can find it on our website in March, and we'll be promoting that on all our social channels. We encourage you to jump in there and get plugged in. We also have a companion community called The Tribe, where our expert coaches will be in there answering questions around fitness programming and also giving more deeper advice around breaking free from some unhealthy habits. So again, the first 3 habits we are attacking is alcohol, digital detox, and also caffeine. More on that in a later show, but keep an eye out, and you can go to our website. That's ultimatefitness.com. Join our email list to be the first to know and the first to be invited to join that amazing app once we launch in March. Right now, we're targeting March 17th, St. Patty's Day, for that app. So back to the show here. I think it's important for you all to understand if you're having a similar issue that I was. It could be different, could look the same, but you should be asking yourself, like, does this apply to me? And the odds are it does. The American Psychological Association found that nearly 65% of adults report feeling overwhelmed by the pressures of daily life. So odds are, if you're listening to this, you are an adult, so that fits you in that demographic. And odds are 65% of you, so more than half of you, are at least resonating with this message somewhat, feeling overwhelmed or out of control with the pressures of daily life. Great quote here. Renowned mindfulness expert John Kabat-Zinn once said, "You can't stop the waves, you just got to learn to surf." And we want to teach you how to surf here. So we want to help you declutter your life and de-stress, de-pressure. And a way to do that, I think it's to go over 3 signs. We all love top 3, top 4, top 5, but top 3 signs that you might be living stuck in this cycle, this vicious cycle of control and release. And here's the first one. The first way to know is ask yourself this question. Does it feel like you live in a chronic state of urgency? Does everything feel rushed? Does every day feel like you have no margin to focus on things that bring you joy or to focus on yourself? Does everything feel rushed? And does it feel as though, whether or not you put words to this or speak it to existence, does it feel like if you don't keep up with your schedule, if you don't keep up with your goals, that something bad will happen? Peel back that onion. Are you rushing and stressing and working so hard to prevent something from happening? And if it is a something, what is that thing? What are you afraid of? Why do you live that way and why do you feel that way? But if your answer is yes to that question, everything feels urgent, move on to the next one. Do you have a deep grief for and also missing the past? Does something about the past feel envious to you? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're in a place where you're healthy or happy or whatnot. But if you're not missing the past, are you working towards and looking forward to the future in an unhealthy way? Because a key sign that you're not living present is that you're fixated on one, the other, or both of those. Ruminating about or missing the past, or ruminating about and obsessing over the future. Are you not living today because of one of those two? Is that preventing you from appreciating what you have now? So again, does life feel urgent, or are you fixated not on what's now, what's before you, and what's next? And then the last one, do you find yourself spending an unhealthy amount of time in activities, whether they're mental or physical or anything, that bring no value to your life other than to help you disconnect or disassociate from life? Disassociation is a huge word, and we want to shed a light on that word and bring that word to the forefront in the public, because dissociative behaviors are a chronic problem that are only getting worse. We have a mental health expert coming on the show in just a couple weeks now, and we're really going to unpack trends in addictive behavior and dissociative behavior. Specifically, are you spending time in the digital world, the digitification, if that's a word, digitification of reality? Are you going on social media and doom scrolling? Are you, instead of sitting in silence, are you picking up a phone out of habit and just scrolling and just being entertained only to turn your brain off because whatever your brain would be on is uncomfortable? Or do you just feel frenzied and frenetic and you can't focus, and focusing on anything helps you feel comfortable and safe? So if you feel like life is urgent, if you're not appreciating the present and you're disconnecting from the present on a regular basis, the odds are you are stressed, yes, but it could be because of a chronic effort to control your environment and the outcomes in your life. So if you said yes to any of that, then this series is for you. And if you know anyone that you think would say yes to that, send this to them, because that's what we're going to do over the next couple weeks. We are going to not diagnose, but we're going to help you see that as an issue and help you deprogram your need to control and reprogram your mind and your habits and eliminate some of those release tactics that you could be using, which are also unhealthy for you physically, mentally, and spiritually. But we want to help you build a sustainable lifestyle that allows you to find freedom from all of that discomfort that comes from seeking control, and to live present, either for the first time or for the first time in a long time, because that's frankly what you deserve. Before we part ways for this episode, which is really a kickoff to the mini series, what we want to do is leave you with a couple practical takeaways for today that you can apply immediately and not just wait for these episodes to unfold. So first, consider a digital detox. What I mean by that is pick a time every single day where you are not going to allow yourself, and ruthlessly eliminate the usage of social media or even the internet. Try both. A good kind of best practice or first step, if you will, maybe pick the run up to bedtime, whatever time that is for you. Maybe it's 2 hours before you go to sleep. You tell yourself, I'm going to take my phone and I'm going to plug it in another room, and I'm not going in that room for any reason whatsoever. Wear a smartwatch, yeah, which helps a lot. By the way, it's just a little side hack I wasn't going to go into, but I found that when I'm trying to cut back from this nasty beast over here, if I have a smartwatch, Apple Watch that syncs to it, and I can just get texts and phones, like an old school phone on my wrist, and just put that phone in another room, I find that helps me tremendously avoid picking up that phone. I'm running a business. There's a lot of reasons for me to be tied to my phone. So I'm with you in trying to break that habit, but pick a time that works for you, step away from your phone, and do it ruthlessly. And don't quit. Give up on it. And do it for, say, a week, 2 weeks. See how it feels. You can start that today. Next tip, physical exercise. Just Google correlation between physical exercise and mental health. Read it for yourself. You don't have to hear from me. Massive bodies of work and literature and studies finding that physical exercise is a potent medicine. And yes, I said medicine, a potent medicine for mental health, stronger than antidepressants and SSRIs and those things. If you're not exercising, start small. That's how you build any habit. Pick a time in the day, go for a walk. Don't bring your phone on the walk if you can. If you are exercising, lean into it. Ask yourself, am I exercising the right way? Are my habits sustainable? Am I doing zone 2 cardio, which if you do that long enough, you find you enter this mental place where it's almost meditative in nature. But physical exercise is a potent medicine for mental health and awareness. So strongly encourage you to pick it up, and hopefully you join our app in March and we can help you with that journey. Next one, it's a harder one to start doing, but once you start, you most likely won't stop. And that's mindfulness, meditation. Start small, just like the digital detox. Great morning hack. I'll give you my own kind of personal morning routine that I've started to do in 2024. I'm trying to perfect it, but I will wake up, go for a walk outside if weather permits it. And my walk is typically about 15 minutes. I don't bring my phone. And during that walk, for the first half of it, I'll let my mind kind of just wander wherever it wants to go. Naturally, because I'm in the process of breaking free from being a kind of a type A control type person, my mind goes towards logistics. What am I doing today? Is it organized efficiently? What are some of the potholes I could hit that can prohibit me from doing those things on my agenda? Whatever. So I allow myself to just kind of let those thoughts flow. And then for the second half of the walk, I try to actually just focus on the next practice, the fourth one, which is gratitudes. Gratitudes are being intentional to think about, and then even better, write down things that you are grateful for every day, so that you're not living your life from a lack of abundance, but from a place of abundance. And what that looks like for me is in the second half of that walk, I just pick 3 things and I say them out loud. I don't know if that feels awkward for anybody, but that's what I do. I'm by myself walking. If you see me, you might think that looks weird, but I'll just pick 3 things. It doesn't have to be a speech. Say, I'm grateful for this, and then I'll let myself think about it. I'm grateful for this, and I'll let myself think about it. And then I'll do one more, and then I'll go home and I'll write them down in a journal. That's it. And that could be a first step towards some type of a mindfulness type practice for you. It doesn't have to be big. You can just do something small, like go for a walk, clear your mind, don't bring your phone, and see how it makes you feel. But that's 4 steps for you that you can start today. Digital detox, start exercising, mindfulness, practice of some kind, and a gratitude practice. So we hope that's helpful. You can start those today. Next time on the Live Deep podcast, we're going to ask the question and really dive deep on control. Are you obsessed with control? That'll be part 2 of Let It Go, a guide to living present in 2024. So we will dive deep there. You won't want to miss it. Please stay with us. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it if you would not just like our show wherever you listen, leave a review, share it with somebody. That simply helps us reach more people. I'm not a man of modern day algorithms and social media and whatnot, but everyone around me tells me that algorithms are important, and the more people like us and follow us and share us, the better chance we are to reach more people. And that is our mission. Thank you for being here today. I'm going to send this off with a quote from the great Albert Einstein. Quote, "A ship is always safe at shore, but that is not what it is built for." So let us not live our lives anchored by fear, but instead navigate this vast, beautiful, fleeting life openly and without fear. So thanks for being here on the Live Deep podcast, and many blessings your way.